You know the feeling exactly. You sit down to work, you have the time, and you know what needs to be done. But within 60 seconds, you're physically uncomfortable. You check your phone, you open a new tab, you get up for a snack. It feels like your brain is sliding off the task like water off glass. If this is your daily reality, you need to stop blaming your willpower. This isn't a character flaw. It is a biological feedback loop that has been hijacked. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do, but the training has gone wrong. The solution isn't to force yourself to concentrate harder. The solution is to lower the threshold of stimulation your brain requires to feel engaged. We are going to do this with a specific 7-day protocol. By the end of this week, the boring tasks you're avoiding will feel easier, and deep work will become accessible again. To fix the problem, you first have to understand the mechanism behind it. Your brain is designed to seek rewards. In a natural environment, rewards like food or social connection require effort. You have to hunt, gather, or build relationships to get that chemical hit of dopamine. But modern environments have short-circuited this process. We have access to cheap dopamine everywhere. Scrolling through social media, eating processed sugar, or getting a notification on your phone delivers a reward spike with zero effort. When you flood your system with these easy hits, your brain adapts to protect itself. It downregulates your dopamine receptors. Think of it like shouting. If everyone around you is shouting, you have to wear earplugs to function. Your brain has put in earplugs to handle the noise of modern stimulation. The consequence is that earned dopamine, the satisfaction you get from reading a book, finishing a report, or going for a run, no longer registers. Those activities are whispering, but your brain is wearing earplugs. You feel numb, unmotivated, and bored because the signal isn't loud enough to get through. Think of your focus like a high-performance engine. It is designed to run on high-quality fuel, meaningful, sustained effort. But right now, you are flooding it with low-quality, sugary fuel. The engine isn't broken. It hasn't failed. It is just running rough. It stalls constantly because the fuel mixture is too rich. The goal of optimization isn't to eliminate pleasure or live like a monk forever. The goal is to clean out the engine so it runs smoothly again. We need to restore your sensitivity to subtle rewards. Once you understand this mechanism, you stop fighting yourself and start fixing the machine. Here is the protocol to make that happen. The first 3 days are what we call the hard stop. This is the most uncomfortable phase of the reset, and it is non-negotiable. We cannot lower your baseline if we keep feeding the system cheap stimulation. For the next 72 hours, we are removing the highest sources of artificial noise. There are 2 primary rules for this phase. Rule number 1 is digital minimalism. You need to remove the triggers that pull you out of reality. Delete social media apps from your phone. Block video streaming sites on your computer. And most importantly, turn your phone screen to grayscale mode. When you remove the color, you remove the visual cue that signals reward to your primate brain. Your phone becomes a tool, not a toy. Rule number 2 is strict single tasking. This sounds simple, but you will find it incredibly difficult. When you eat, you just eat. No watching TV, no reading the news, no listening to a podcast. When you walk to your car or take the subway, you do it in silence. No headphones. We are removing the constant background layer of distraction that prevents your brain from ever resting. Here is what will happen when you do this. You will feel bored, and that boredom will likely manifest as anxiety or agitation. You might feel a phantom vibration in your pocket or a sudden urge to check your email just to feel something. This is the withdrawal. Your brain is screaming for its usual pacifier. When this happens, you need a strategy for resilience. We use a technique called surfing the urge. When the impulse to distract yourself arises, don't fight it and don't give in to it. Just observe it. Say to yourself, I am feeling an urge to check my phone. Notice the physical sensation of that restlessness. It will rise like a wave, peak, and then crash. If you can watch it without acting on it, the wave will pass. The objective of Phase 1 is not productivity. You might not get a lot of work done in these first 3 days, and that is fine. The objective is simply to force your brain to look for stimulation in lower intensity activities. By removing the shouting, we are forcing the brain to start taking out the earplugs. You are reteaching your system that it can survive without constant input. After the initial discomfort settles, usually around the end of day 3, you will notice a shift. The fog begins to lift. The agitation turns into a quiet calm. Now we rebuild. With the system flushed, we shift our focus from removing the bad to reintroducing the good. Phase 2 is about calibration. You have created a vacuum in your attention span. Now you must choose what fills it with extreme care. For days 4 and 5, your focus is intentionality. You are going to introduce slow activities back into your routine. Read a physical book for 30 minutes. Go for a long walk where the only goal is movement, not destination. Write in a journal by hand. These activities provide dopamine, but they release it slowly, like a steady drip rather than a fire hose. You are training your brain to appreciate the subtle flavor of effort again. When you read a physical book, you force your brain to process information linearly, without the option to click away. This rebuilding of linear attention is crucial for the next step. By days 6 and 7, you are ready for the real test. Deep work. Your objective is to schedule one 90-minute block of focused effort on a single professional or creative task. No phone, no email, just the work. This is where the connection to flow state becomes obvious. Flow only occurs when the challenge of a task meets your skill level. But distractions break that bridge before you can cross it. Every time you check a notification, you reset the clock on your focus. It takes nearly 20 minutes to get back to where you were. By eliminating those micro-interruptions, you allow the chemistry of flow to actually take hold. Notice how the work feels different now. The report that looked impossible last week? It's just a report. The study session that felt like torture? It's just studying. The task hasn't changed. The difficulty is exactly the same. But your baseline for stimulation has dropped, making the activity feel manageable. You aren't fighting the friction anymore because you stopped adding sand to the gears. The work becomes its own reward because your receptors are finally sensitive enough to feel it. You are no longer looking for the exit. You are present in the process. Conclusion. The new baseline. This reset isn't just about surviving 1 week. It's about establishing a permanent shift in how you operate. You realize that focus is a finite resource you must protect, not a magical switch you can simply flip on command. The discomfort of boredom you felt earlier isn't a punishment. It is the price of entry for elite focus. If you are ready to reclaim your attention and start this reset, comment Day 1 below so we can track this progress together. For more strategies on optimization and mindset, hit subscribe.